Okay, now let's get into the English tips. Tip number one for the last minute English tips is a great one. It's an execution strategy. I think it makes the English modules way easier to tackle personally. I would recommend starting at number 27 and working backwards. This redesigns the English module so that you are tackling the quicker, easier questions first, and it warms up your brain so that you are prepared for those cognitive intensive reading passages that are to follow. Skip number 15 to 12 because those are the tougher logically completes the text questions, and save those for last. They take the longest and student success rate is the lowest on those. So you want to just make sure you can accrue as many points as possible before you try to read those through. All right, my second English last minute tip is to look for 3 wrong answers instead of 1 right answer on the reading passages. Because guys, College Board's really good at designing trap answers that sound amazing. So you really want to be a detective and go through each answer choice and ask yourself, what is wrong with that? Often it's going to be one little thing that could be wrong with it, like an adverb of degree that says significantly when the passage didn't say it was significant. So be very careful and make sure that you weed out 3 wrong answers, and that'll help prevent you from picking a trap answer. All right, tip number 3 is don't read the notes on a rhetorical synthesis question unless you need it for a tiebreaker. So there will likely be, if I were to guess, 1 question with bullet points at the end of module 2 somewhere where you might need to read the bullet points. And that only happens when you have it narrowed down to 2 or 3 answers and they all seem to satisfy what the student wants. But most of the time, you don't need those bullet points at all. It's just designed to eat at your time and make you waste time. So just go straight to what the student wants and pick an answer that matches. All right, tip number 4 is to only read the last sentence on a reading passage that is within the range of like number 5 to number 10, okay? The specific types of passages where you can stick to the last sentence only and get the question right are overall structure of text, main idea, main purpose, based on the text, according to the text, and supports or undermines the claim. Why is this? Well, often the claim or the main argument comes in the last sentence. And so that's really all you need to answer these questions, which is going to save you a lot of time, which is key so that you have more time to answer a logically completes the text question, or go back to questions you flagged because you weren't really certain on them. Now, the last sentence works most of the time on these, but it doesn't work 100% of the time. So just as my little disclaimer, be ready to be flexible. So if you read the last sentence and there's a pronoun in there that says this idea, and you don't know what they mean when they say this idea, you might need to read back a sentence. Or if the last sentence like introduces some crazy term you've never heard, find the term real quick and find the definition. So just be ready to be flexible and adaptable with this awesome strategy. All right, my 5th last minute tip for English is to only spend 20 to 30 seconds on each vocab question. Those vocab questions are technically called words and context questions, and they are the very first questions in the modules. So like number 1 to number 4 or 5. If you get stuck and you're not sure which one to pick, please don't deliberate for 3 or 4 minutes over these, guys. You do not have enough time and you can't afford to do that, because then you're robbing yourself of a chance to get more points down the line. So stick to just 20 or 30 seconds. If you have to, put down your best guess. And here's a last minute tip. I often see the right answer being the word you don't know.